jobs on the November bid alone for the state, which is huge. It's
Right.
going to be a busy year next year. So.
Speaking of TIF too, there's a coalition working on 4-lane out of Minot to Velva, right?
Yeah, Dana Larson's been working on that for years. Trying
Good
to
luck
get
with that.
Yeah, I don't think that's gotten very far.
You know, half of it's passing lanes. They almost got it already.
I know.
But it's the deep coulees is where the problem is. They don't get the slope.
Well,
I
Logan,
know.
Logan Hill, I think, too, is an issue.
I'm pretty sure they'll go south and around somewhere, won't they?
I think they're trying to do it right where it is.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Either way, the cost is phenomenal there.
Well, that's
the
the
thing.
More important than 52 from Carrington to Jamestown should be the 4-lane.
Yeah. This is off the subject. Any plan for that?
I heard they were talking about getting Carrington South done, but
Passing lanes or 4-lane?
no, 4-lane.
I'm thinking that's why they didn't propose passing lanes, because they were thinking of 4-laning.
It's on their STIP, which is their like future
Long-term.
planning thing, but it was on the last one too 5 years ago. So.
And more importantly, they should do something with the river bridge at Harvey. That is a joke. That's a dangerous.
Yeah,
place.
that's the next thing. I crossed that
That's
with my
bad.
equipment. Someday there's gonna
Yeah.
be an accident there. Across the Cheyenne River,
Yeah.
bridge, the narrow bridge
Too
there.
narrow there.
West
Yeah.
side.
Oh my
It
God.
wouldn't be that hard to widen that bridge. When you look at the game, you could just keep putting dirt. You could make that a double bridge easy. A wide bridge.
I would think at some point that's on the list. I guess
It
I
has to
haven't
be,
looked
because-
see.
You want to have some entertainment, just sit in Chusek's parking lot and watch.
Well, even
things
on the
move.
east side, that's the same deal. Come across the dam.
The way.
Right, you know,
Even on
west
the east
town.
side, same deal.
but then you're going slow.
That's
That's
even more narrow.
And there's a big dip.
I crossed that with the sprayer, I estimate. I'm good at it now. There's a car coming around.
I don't need it, I only
by
got 2
our
pieces.
door. You either
No.
gotta slow down
I
or
just wanted
speed
to make
up.
sure it wasn't on the ground.
No, it hit me in the leg, caused a bruise, and probably gonna have to go to the doctor.
No.
Well, it gets
You
pretty.
got anything else?
No, I'm good, Jason.
Dan, you good?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
That's it. Lydia?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I told
Lydia,
Dan,
before you start, I want to make a little comment here. Appreciate your concern, Wells County citizen and all, but it's been noticed that a lot of the information you're giving us is like discrediting the commissioners. And it's affecting the jobs we do. So I
If
just
they-
want you to be aware
Yes.
that that's
I
unacceptable.
understand that, but 2 years ago, if you're talking about last month, 2 years ago, that was addressed, and you guys decided to ignore it.
What was addressed?
About, if you're talking about the oath of office. That was addressed 2 years ago, and you ignored it.
It's a number of other things, it seems to be too, that's negatively dialogued. So, I guess, you know, this commission's always given you respect and allowed you to talk and everything, and I think it wouldn't be asking too much to ask a little mutual respect. Okay,
Yes, I understand that.
you got the floor.
I want to talk about property tax and what property taxes really are. Another aspect of most people's financial lives have been made overly confusing in order to obfuscate, and if you don't know what obfuscate means, it means to obscure, to confuse, or to make unclear. What it really is, what property tax really is, and its real purpose. Having done tons of research on property tax, this has included research to determine its origin, which in turn has led to like land grants, land patents, the origins of the state property code, as well as the UCC and federal banking and securities laws. I've come to the conclusion, all supported by various federal laws and state laws, as well as court cases, that warranty deeds or other deeds for real property, a term of art, filed in county clerk offices or other government recordation offices become security instruments no different than a stock or a bond, or a promissory note, etc. This makes deeds tradable and negotiable just like stocks and bonds and promissory notes. The key to converting an ordinary deed into a security instrument is twofold. Number one, it must contain certain legal descriptions of underlying property, i.e. like Lot A, Block 23, Section 43 of Benson subdivision of city, anywhere. And two, its recordation must be in the government office suited to that purpose. Now, for the word recordation, in case you don't know what that means, the definition is the act of giving legal status to a document by making it an official public record. Nothing in law allows the conversion of private property to allow the county or state to benefit from unjust enrichment. This is called unlawful conversion, and it's another criminal act. The state only has power to tax businesses as a citizen in the state. Okay? I found that property taxes are merely forms of income tax, which explains why one may deduct one property tax from one's income taxes. Otherwise, it would amount to double taxation. The actual legal verbiage found in the income tax liens on property were merely an extension of the property tax lien, which lien automatically attaches to the property on January 1st of every year. And how about that? Can you explain that? Now here's a kicker. What the property tax actually taxes is not the underlying land or structure on the deed. What the property tax taxes is security instrument, the deed itself. The United States tax code, as well as state tax codes in all 50 states, are super clear and consistent that security instruments are taxable. Further, for instance, the Texas property tax code states that both tangible, personal, and intangible personal property is subject to taxation. Security instruments fall under the category of intangible personal property. Private property cannot be subjected to as a security instrument without the owner's knowledge or consent. Have you guys let the people of this county know that? So every year when you get your property tax statement from your county appraisal district, or in Wells County's case, it's called the tax director, we're being told that the present value of our security instrument, aka our deed, this is why we've never seen a bill. Okay, you'll notice that if you look at for instance, it says tax lien on there. It's not a bill. It's a tax lien because it's a security instead of what it is actually supposed to be. Okay, this is why you never see the bill, and it's only a statement. It's the same as you would be if you held stock from, say, Apple Computers. Apple would never send you a yearly bill, but they might send your stockholders a yearly statement disclosing the current value of the stock. The state of Texas, for example, does the same thing every year through its CADs, and North Dakota through the Wells County tax directors here. They're merely administrative agencies of all states authorized to administer the security instruments known as deeds. This is an attempt to commit fraud in the first instance, and by doing the unlawful act is an actual fraud in the second instance. For instance, Title 42, Section 1983, it's a RICO Act. You might say, yeah, but I've never heard of a company which requires yearly payments to hold its stock, yet the state does it through the yearly property tax. The answer to this is simple. Those are the terms of the contract you, albeit unwittingly, entered into when you filed your deed or accepted the deed as buyer of the property which the seller conveyed to you. Fraud by failure of disclosure. Fraud negates any and all contracts. Also, many investment companies, such as mutual funds and hedge funds, charge their client a yearly management fee, usually 1% or 2% of the value of the client's portfolio, for administrating the client's accounts. The state is doing this exact same thing. property taxes typically amount to like 1 to 2% of the value of the property. Just like the fees of private mutual and hedge funds charge. Do you think that's a coincidence? Finally, if the deed is a security instrument and its value is based on the value of the underlying physical assets, those being the land and the structure upon it, then the deed is not only a security instrument, but it is a derivative. The derivative means instantaneous rate of change. And we all remember how well those did when that caused that crash of the market in 2008. Derivatives are all conduit. The county tax department steals our money by way of property taxes when markets our deeds as securities and derivatives and receives monies. Unjust enrichment, which is a crime, and we the property owners receive nothing in return, another fraud. For those who have more advanced area of study of the Federal Reserve and how money is actually created in the United States, try this one on. If filing a deed which is converted to a security instrument with the government agency, the county clerk, as a condition for getting a mortgage, or FRN, which is a floating rate note, any different from using the Fed windows to exchange another type of security instrument, say a promissory note, in order to get FRNs, which is another fraud. This being said, the state and counties have no authority to tax a man's shelter where he seeks refuge from the sun, snow, wind, and rain. The county assessors get away with it because people don't know the law. The limitations of the state taxing authority and the word game state tax assessors play in order to make families poorer and counties richer. The county's authority as a tax a man's property has been challenged, and this memorandum prepared for that purpose. And the memorandum I'm talking about is the one that was sent to you guys. I believe it was with the affidavit on May 19th. And I sent it to the sheriff, I sent it to Dennis Doctor, to Oliver Bromke, to Daniel Stutland, and to Jenna Mogren. And I do have the proof of the fact that you guys did get them. This still hasn't been answered. And people need to be aware of the fact that their property has been changed from private property to taxable properties by renaming them into commercial, agricultural, or residential. A person's private property is not residential. We do not rent out rooms in our homes to other people. It's our private property. And in order to cement that, I had actually filed a land patent. I updated the land patent. And I've been hearing from around the county that people that sit at this coffee table in Harvey at the senior center has been accusing me of stealing people's property. I will invite you guys to look at that land patent so that you can understand what it says. But that first page of that land patent says that the only property I claim is my property, and the descriptions are there. So I do not appreciate the fact that people have been spreading lies about me around town and around the county. You can look at the document. And this information has all come from people that have either sat at that coffee table or have been next to your coffee table when it's been talked about. That's all I have.
Well, I got one question, Lydia.
Yes.
So what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
How would you,
Tax
how would
proper
you,
properties. Tax the properties that it says in the state that can be taxed.
which is,
If you were wondering,
briefly,
Under North Dakota Century Code, Section 570203, all property in the state is subject to taxation unless expressly exempted by law. What creates the property tax obligation is the situs of the property in the state, not its use for commercial purposes or otherwise. I realize that you dispute that, and I understand that, but that's simply what the law says.
yes, and I actually, when sending that to you, I also sent the whole memorandum as well, and it breaks down what the status of property is as far as residential, commercial, and agricultural.
Okay.
So that, everybody has been given that. I don't know if everybody on the board has read that, but if you haven't, you can get a hold of Dennis Doctor or Dan Stutman. They do have all those copies.
But in simplest of terms, give me one sentence or less. If we can't tax property, how would you fund the services of Wells County?
You can tax taxable properties. For instance, taxable properties would be like the railroad. Motels, hotels, those are taxable. You can tax apartment buildings because they fall under residential. But people's private property, especially when they were written under the official land patents that were given out to these homesteaders, that was not taxable property. And it never was supposed to be. That got switched in the 1930s when it was reassessed to different values, to residential, commercial, or agricultural. So people were unwittingly tricked into this. They were not informed of this. They were tricked into a new definition of what their property is so that it could be taxed.
Seems highly unusual that the 50 state Supreme Courts and the United States Supreme Court just missed this one.
It is. There's court cases that are
Yeah,
stated in those.
There's nothing wrong with somebody filing a court case, but the Supreme Court being willing, able, and agreeable to hear it is a totally different thing. There's wild lawsuits that are filed on a daily basis.
Well, have any of you guys disputed the facts yet that were given to you? No one has written back to say that
And
is a requirement for you to do.
there's a reason why.
And what's the reason?
So, there's no one seated here today that has the authority to wave a magic wand and upset a century of precedents, okay? That's why.
But when something has been done to violate people's rights like this has been,
The thing is,
That's your opinion,
that's your
violate
opinion.
people's
We'll
rights.
go by Oliver's opinion. You can get the state of North Dakota change it, we'd probably follow it, but we're going to go with his ruling, and that's it.
I don't mean to speak on behalf of the commission, so if any of you disagree, please feel free to voice those opinions. But the position of the Wells County Commission, as I understand it, is the same as what any other county commission would be, which is that property tax does not depend on the use of the land. It depends on simply having the land in the county. It's the same as if you would owe property tax in Williams County for land that you own in Williams County or anywhere else in the state, or if you owned land outside of the state to like Minnesota or Montana or South Dakota or something like that. We dispute the validity of your definition of what is taxable property, if that makes sense. And you can dispute that in court if you wish.
It came right from the state documents. It comes from our Constitution. It comes from the state. So these are actual things that we can find by researching in our state and federal government.
Okay, if that is the case, then you can certainly take it up with the courts, but as it is right now,
Right.
the county's going to continue levying and
We're
assessing
not going to do
taxes.
anything yet.
Thanks for trying.
Okay. All right, we need to move on. Dan, you want to report on the KTL roof? Oh, well, let's do the appraisal.
Yeah. So as of the end of the business day on October 1st, we have 13 properties in Wells County that are front and back of that page there. 10 of those are vacant lots. 3 of those have structures on them. And by structures, I mean houses. I am not able to tell you every one of those vacant lots. There may be some form of a structure, but it could be anything. It could be livable or anything of that.
No hot item stock this year.
No. So, and then you can see the taxes owed. Obviously, that second parcel that's listed there that shows a sale price of $15,425.19. Nobody's going to pay that. That's somebody who walked away from the property and the city had to tear it down, and therefore there you go. So I would appreciate your approval of the sale prices as the taxes due. Now, any one of these 13 properties can be redeemed between now and 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning, the 18th of November, but they would have to pay the property taxes due, otherwise they'll be sold at auction. And if they are not sold at auction, our history is we offer them back to the political subdivision, whether it's a city, township, whatever, for $1. And our interest is only the taxes that are due and to get them back on the tax.
So we need a motion to approve these prices.
I make the motion.
Brian Miller, motion to approve prices. There a second? Any discussion on? Discussion, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
John, can I see that?
Okay, and then next item there, well, it's not in complete disrepair. It's something that is going to need to be addressed at some point in time. Obviously, it would be a steel roof.
That's crazy.
97,056.
Does he have a breakdown of what the materials cost, labor, or?
Detailed workup for you to do
Seems
that.
plenty high to me.
Seems like it's really high, doesn't it?
Well, what would it cost?
So does the engineering costs on the last two
Are
projects.
they
Yeah.
removing the old shingles?
It's 10.
There's not shingles.
Oil and rock.
Tar,
So they're
Tar
gonna
and rock.
build, they're gonna build a peak?
They're just gonna oil.
Steel
Steel,
roof.
he said,
Steel.
which would be the
If
way
you
to
need
go.
more details, just say you need more details, that's fine. The line of
Don't
work,
beat
so
up the
I-
messengers.
Right, he's just a minute, right.
Let's
More
get-
details.
And I'm
Ask for
sure,
more details.
I'm sure it's legit.
100,000 just for a little.
Telecommute,
We'll leave it all.
Before you move on, places that have had flat roofs end up putting a peak on it. You can see that all over the
no
place.
kidding, and why in the world doesn't do the flat ones?
Right, but I'm just saying,
No.
No,
It's got,
This has got a cross.
It's
it
got a
has
peak
a
on it.
very, very minor.
steel is flat, so it must have a peak, but not much of one.
Well, you'll see it's
Maybe a
very, very low.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you though.
Yeah, I was lost. I
you see it
know.
all over.
I know, right.
Telecommuting agreement,
You going to Europe or somewhere?
Yes, no. I will be gone the week of Thanksgiving. Obviously, I would have to conduct payroll. And then at the back end of December is also my days would be vacation, but there are certain duties that have to be done. And I hope, I've proved that I come from other places and